Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a really fun video. I haven't done a trends video in probably like 2 years now, so it's been a little bit overdue. Um and yeah, we're gonna get into some of the spring and summer trends for this year. I like to break up my video into three sections or three parts. So the first category is going to be like just the trends, like the well, obviously we know trends are like not new, like we've seen them before at some point in like years prior or whatever, but basically trends that are happening right now that we haven't seen within the last spring summer trends for last year, for 2024 spring summer trends. And then trends that are here to stay. So trends that we did see last season for spring summer and they're back again this spring summer. And then lastly, overlooked trends. I don't have a bunch in this category this year. I kind of just put some here, but like just to kind of like keep the category. But yeah, so we also have overlooked trends, which typically like whenever I'm doing my research and stuff, these are trends that like I see a lot, like either like watching the fashion shows or just seeing a bunch of different stuff that I feel like is common. I feel like will be trending this spring and summer, but I'm not really seeing a lot of like people talking about it like in the media. So those are normally what I would put as overlooked. And for that category, when we get to it, I'll dive deeper. So, um, first, I think it would be good to start with the trends that are kind of like new and upcoming. Maybe not upcoming, but you guys know. Like obviously, there's certain trends that's like, you know what I'm saying. I don't have to go back over it. Like maybe in the '90s, there were certain things that were like popping that like come back or whatever. But I mean like as far as last season. So, one trend that has come back is peep toe shoes. I remember like a lot of people were like really not feeling the peep toes when they were out before, and now they're back, they're trending. And you will be able to find them in stores. Also like last year Mary Janes were kind of the big thing, like Mary Jane flats especially as well. And so this year it's like the peep toe shoe. I've seen mostly like this done in like wedge or heel form and not necessarily with flats, but I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some peep toe flats coming around here soon. So yeah, we saw that a lot. We saw at the Chloe show, there was a bunch of people like all in the front row. They all had like those same like kind of block heel with like writing on it, and then like with a peep toe. So that was one thing that we saw a lot. I think also Miu Miu, Valentino, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, so we saw that a lot. So that's definitely gonna be a trend, and some people are not happy about it. You'll have to let me know if you're on team peep toe or team not peep toe. I feel like for me, it's not one that I really gravitate towards, even when it was like kind of popping. I guess like I feel like when I was in high school, like everybody were getting like for the summer, like when you're like graduating from like high school and stuff, the girlies would always have like their little peep toe summer sand like wedge sandals or whatever. And I do have a pair now that my aunt gave me because she was getting rid of them, and I was like, okay, this would be like cool for summer. But honestly, they're not necessarily like my favorite. Like they're not really my style. Like I wouldn't go and buy a peep toe wedge. I would just go buy like one that's just like straight across if I was purchasing one. But since they were like given to me, it was like free. I wear them now and then. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, I guess I'll be participating because of that, but I wouldn't necessarily buy it new. This next trend is definitely one that kind of is brought back from last year, because last year we saw like butter yellow. Butter yellow was like a really poppin' color. I feel like the brides like of 2024, all of their bridesmaids dresses were like that butter yellow color. Like I feel like everybody was doing that. And I remember that being like a big trend, like kind of how like towards the end of the year, like in fall, in winter, like that cherry red or like that deep red color became a big trend for fall. I feel like, or like that was the it color, kind of still is. That was like the it color of like spring summer of last year. And this year it's still another pastel color, but it is like soft pink, like baby pink, like nudish pink. Again, at Chloe we saw a lot of this, maybe not a lot, but we saw it there, honestly everywhere, like a lot of different blogs and stuff. Like when I was reading articles and things like that, they also were talking about like, oh, powder pink is like the color of the season. So I'm really excited because I know like for a while it was like that Valentino pink, like that pink, like that hot pink, like that Barbie pink. And you know, I feel like people are like a little over it with the like bright obnoxious pink, I guess. Like bubblegum pink. So I think this is probably one that will um kind of, you know, suit the people who enjoy pink. But or like one article was like, oh, pink for those who don't like pink or something like that, cuz like some people were doing like a nudish pink where it's not like super pink. But yeah, however many times I just said pink, you know, take a shot. But yeah, I feel like I will be participating in this a little bit, just because I have a little bit of like, you can see like I have like a pair of pants right here, and then have like that bag right there, and then I have other bags. I have another bag that's pink, and I have a couple like light pink like stuff with like pink in it. So yeah, I feel like this is a trend. Like pink is one of my favorite colors. I have three favorite colors: pink, green, and yellow. And pink is one of my favorites. So, I mean, inevitably, I'll be participating a little bit. This one for me, I put it in the new trends category because when I was doing research on last year, because like I said, I didn't do this video last year, so I didn't really go and like deep dive on like what's the trends for this year. And I focused mainly on vlogs last year. So with that being said, I didn't really know like I knew what the trends were based on like what I saw, but like the official trends, or like, you know, the trends that like people were saying were trends. And I didn't see anything about coastal or like sea, like by the sea, or like sailor like vibes from last year. Although in my opinion, I saw that last year. Like it was like coastal cowgirl, coastal grandmother, like core or whatever. Like people were dressing like that, or I feel like that was like trending, at least like on the social media spaces. Like the girlies were all like, oh, it's giving like coastal whatever, whatever, whatever. And I feel like, well, now a lot of the like it's more intentional, I guess. Like the brands maybe have picked up, or maybe that was like a trend that was like kind of made by the social media girlies, and then the brands picked up on that and was like, yeah, let's bring that into the collections. But yeah, so just like obviously things, and I can also tie this into like another trend, which is like stripes, which we have seen stripes in ways that aren't necessarily coastal, but it does kind of go hand in hand with it. Like, you know, like you see like the typical like sailor stripes or whatever. Also just like beachy vibe of like clothing, which was kind of like how I feel like it started up in or on like social media and stuff. And for me, honestly, this is like definitely my style. Like not like, probably not the stripes, like some chinos, and or not chinos, but like some, you know, some like straight leg pants and like sailor shirt is not my vibe. Or even like the high-waisted shorts with like the little buttons, like that's probably not the way I would go for it. However, I do feel like beachy clothing is my style. Like I feel like dressing like a beach bum is very much me. Like I like earth tone colors, and beachy clothes normally have like those types of colors, like turquoise and light green and cream and yellow, things like that. So I feel like that's definitely up my alley, and that's definitely my style. And I feel like also is one that like people are already jumping on, so I feel like it will definitely be big, especially if it's more accessible, or like more people are able to purchase those types of stuff. Now I definitely feel like we'll see a ton of that. Okay, you guys, so this is another one that I feel like is definitely up my alley. Honestly, the trends are trending this year are definitely like for me. Like if they weren't for anyone, they're for me. And one of those trends is like kind of romance, boho vibe. Like flowy clothes, sheer, lace, florals, of course florals, but like all of that is just like definitely my vibe. And again, Chloe, we saw that a lot at Chloe. We saw that at even like the I guess like the what is it, like the flowy like type of vibe. I feel like we saw that a little bit at Ralph Lauren, um at Miu Miu, Prada. Yeah, I feel like it was just definitely like a common theme. Loewe, Valentino, Alexander McQueen, all of them like kind of showed us some of this like frilly, romantic, sheer style, like just like feminine, romantic vibes. Like I feel like also, yeah, it goes in with like boho. And again, I feel like this is my style, like coastal vibe. I feel like that goes in romantic, feminine, etc., etc. I feel like all that is just like, yes, I'm signing up and I definitely will be participating. I have a lot of like sheer, I love flowy clothing. Like I just it feels great. I feel like one of my favorite like little mottos or like things to say was like style over comfort, which I still feel that way. Like if it's a certain moment, you just gotta deal with it, and you just have to like. There was this video with Kim K. Maybe I'll put it on the screen if I can find it. And like her back was all like zipped up in or like corseted into her Met Gala look, and I was like, I sent it to Cameron, and Cameron was like, style over comfort, and I was like, not to that extreme, but yeah, I feel like there's certain looks where it's just like, oh, style over comfort, and if the look requires for me to suffer a little bit, I shall. However, that's the worst way to say it, but however, I prefer, like, I like for something to make me feel comfortable, which is why I like flowy clothing. I like flowy dresses. Also, it just makes me feel pretty. It makes me feel feminine. Having like a flowy dress or like something with like little flowers on it, or like, yeah, something that's sheer, has like, or it's like a chiffon fabric that flows nicely, like, whatever. You guys get the vibes. So I definitely like this trend. I definitely already feel like the girlies are like all the way in this. Same thing with the whole coastal thing. So I definitely feel like we'll see a lot of that. At least my feed, my social media feed, like girlies are already dressing like this. Okay, another one is checks, plaid, and again, very, very common. Again, I feel like this is one that like we see like a lot towards fall and winter. However, I think that this time people are making it more approachable for spring and summer by like the colors that are being used with like the plaid and check print, because like typically when we see this in the fall, we're getting like a nice burgundy. We might be getting orange and blue mixed together. We might be getting some like different shades of brown. And this time I think that is definitely like I'm seeing like soft like pastel colors like we are talking about earlier, and like even just like with the materials and stuff that the plaid is on, like how we were saying like with the flowy clothing and stuff like that. So I feel like they're just trying to make it more wearable for spring and summer and not feel so fall winter, if that makes sense. I don't know if I feel like I've talked about this a lot about how I don't like plaid, but like I low-key am getting over that. I kind of do like plaid now. It just depends. Like there has to be the right colors mixed together. Like if you do like a weird color, like I have this dress that I like got from a swap that's like red and like periwinkle like together, and I don't even know why I tried to like, I don't know, but it was tweed and it was like decent quality. It was J. Crew, and I was like, oh, if I don't like this on me, I can always resell it, or maybe I could like make this into a two-piece or something, but like it just wasn't working, so it's a no for me. However, plaid nowadays I feel like is kind of a vibe, depending on what like way it's done. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Even like gingham print is to me kind of like a plaid or checked style, which I feel like we'll see a lot of spring summer. So yeah. Okay, lastly for this category, like I don't even know what to say. What I wrote down on my paper is ladylike slash demure, because all the like sites were saying ladylike, or like, you know, maybe prim and proper, like whatever, but like very much giving wearing my pearls and my tweed and my like, you know, my like tea hat or whatever. And honestly, of course, like a little bit more wearable than like that. Well, some places, like, you know, were showing it that way, especially that's just, it's just very Chanel, very I feel like especially with the whole demure situation, everybody was saying demure, 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 demure last year. Trying to say demure 5 times fast. Um is definitely on par. Very, what is it, Bridgerton or whatever. I feel like all of these are like with the whole romantic and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm not really surprised that this is trending right now. Do I feel like everybody will hop onto it? I feel like it's like a take on the quiet luxury situation, but like a little bit like we're coming out of that by like putting our own flair into it, which we'll talk about a little bit more later. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like for me, again, like I'm very feminine, and I also sometimes like a business moment, and I feel like this little prim and proper tweed, prim and proper, I just said that, ladylike demure vibe is me. When you like mix together like the elevated business style with like femininity and put them together, it kind of like creates that. So I don't know, maybe I'll be participating. You guys have to let me know what you guys think about this. Will you guys be participating in that? Is that anything that's like kind of wearable for you? Who knows? Okay, so getting into the trends that are here to stay. I briefly mentioned this, so I won't talk about it for long, is sheer. Sheer, I feel like sheer has been trending because last year, like I said, I didn't do a spring summer video last year for 2024, but I did do one for 2023. And in that video, I was talking about sheer. And then last year, sheer was trending, and this year sheer's trending again. It's definitely kind of like very on par for spring summer, and it definitely goes into that whole romantic boho flowy fabric type of category. So I didn't want to like talk about it for too long, but for sure sheer is not going anywhere, and we will be seeing a lot of that again this year, hopefully in more wearable ways. Of course, like on the runways we see like girlies with the nipples popping out, and we're not trying to do that. Like we don't be just walking out like free balling everybody, because like I don't know, people be saying free the nipple, but I'm not gonna walk down the street and like you can see my whole areola. Like that's crazy. But I don't know, some girlies will, they'll do like a nipple paste, or what is it called, like a nipple cover, and so that you don't see the boobs, you know, completely. You know, where are we going with this conversation? I don't know, but I won't be having my nipples out to everybody. And if I'm gonna be wearing something sheer, I'll definitely be having something underneath. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so sporty and athletic clothing, of course, made a big like statement when it came to 2020, because of course, all of the, you know, being in the house, being in our loungewear, and like everybody was like, well, let's capitalize on that. Let's make them some bomb loungewear so they can like wear that in the house. And in 2021, everybody was like still kind of like, yeah, but I'm not really going outside for real. And like when I do go outside, I'm not trying that hard because I've been in the house all year. I ain't bought nothing. And I feel like this has like come back, or it has like not come back, but it's here to stay, because it's something that just kind of like has made its place into our wardrobes now, like the athletic and sporty attire, I guess. And so this is definitely one that we have seen last season and, you know, seasons before in different ways, but especially because now like I guess they're trying to make it more fashionable and less like lounge wear, you know, like not like Skims vibes or like sweatsuit vibes, more like a windbreaker with like a cool outfit underneath or whatever. And I saw like some I don't remember what site it was, but they said like Sporty Spice was like the name of how they named the trend. And I guess that's like a good representation of like, okay, when you think of like Sporty Spice, it's not like, oh, I'm wearing this to like go run like a mile at the gym. Is giving more like, oh, it's sporty but like it's cute. and it's like wearable. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily like for working out. So yeah, what do you guys think about that? Are you guys feel like you're gonna join in with the whole like sporty athletic wear, but like more trying a little bit harder than how we've done with athletic wear in the past? I feel like for me, athletic wear is not really my vibe. Like I don't really wear athletic wear unless I'm trying to work out. So I don't know. I do have this one set that Cameron's been dying for me to style before I get rid of it because I've been trying to get rid of it. I keep trying to sneak it out of this room and he's like, "Wait, we're supposed to be doing a photo shoot in that before you get rid of it." So it's too big for me. So I don't know, but not my style. Also, a lot of times like sporty stuff comes in like bright colors, like bright red, cobalt blue, neon green, stuff like that. And like that's also not my vibe either. Like I like kind of like muted tone colors. Now, I won't say that I do like a little cobalt blue, okay, period. But it just depends, okay? Like I don't know. I don't know. But it just has to be a little bit more like understated. Like I don't want to be like, you know? I don't know. It's not my vibe. I don't know how to explain it. Because also, okay, we're getting off topic. I was gonna say also I do like some people that they have like really bright colors, but like bright red and pink and blue in a fit, but like it kind of goes together like in a way to where like it feels ladylike and cutesy, but like it's still really bold. And I like that type of stuff. It just depends. It depends on the styling. But anyways, with the whole sporting athletic wear, it's not really my vibe. And I feel like I won't be participating that much. Okay, so moving on to the whole prep polo club vibe, that's definitely here to stay. We saw that last season. We're gonna see it, or not last season, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. And it's definitely here to stay. I don't feel like this has ever not been a trend. Like even if it hasn't been like on the list of like trends or whatever, I feel like this has always been trending because I think it's just like some people's like everyday wear, like like the whole like golf attire. Like I feel like that's what some people wear, like that's their clothing, and like they might add some different accessories or like some pizzazz to it, but like that's just their vibe. And I also feel like because of that, like the people who are like trying to be like for example the whole like quiet luxury thing, like definitely it was giving like polo tees and like khaki skirts, like it was giving that type of vibe. So yeah, I feel like that has always been a trend. I don't know. But again, I feel like there's like parts of this where like I could participate. Like I have a few like prep like collared type shirts like that, but the whole overall style of it isn't necessarily me, but like there's pieces of it that I could intertwine with my style. We don't have to go too deep into this because we all know that we're gonna see florals during the spring. It's definitely a trend that's here to stay. It's a trend that we will see every single spring and summer, no doubt. If we don't, something is wrong. Like obviously we know it's like, oh, Miranda Priestley or whatever. She's not thrilled. So one of the articles they were saying, oh well, Miranda Priestley might not be happy, but they're doing florals in a new way. That's what like they were saying. LOL. But like it was like they're talking about like old timey florals where it's like old wallpaper florals or like old granny's couch florals and stuff like that, which that's a vibe. Like I kind of like dainty florals personally, my favorite, but I also like those kind of like old-timey style as well, depending on the vibe and everything like that. So yeah, I mean we don't have to go too far into it, but we already know we expected this, right? Okay, so last year we saw Fringe, and Fringe again is here to stay. However, I feel like on runways and stuff like that, we see Fringe. Like I feel like I see Fringe on like almost every single runway, like fall or winter, like in the past like couple years. However, I feel like when I'm out and about, not that I'm always out and about, but like I feel like I don't see people wear, or even just like on social media, I feel like I don't see people just wearing Fringe stuff. So this is trending again, and it was trending before, but I don't really know if this is a trend that is really going to be like popping this year, because I feel like in the past when it's been trending, people weren't just wearing a bunch of fringe. Like when I remember people wearing fringe all the time, it was like 2015, 2016, and like girlies were like cutting up their shirts to like make fringe or whatever. And like it was like the era of like, I don't know, Miley Cyrus, like Party in the USA vibes. Like everybody was trying to be like with the fringe. Or like some like boots with like, everybody had the booties with like the fringe coming off the side, or the boots with the fringe. Y'all, not boots with the fur, boots with the fringe, you know? I don't know, but I feel like that was a thing. And now I don't be seeing people wear fringe like that. Like you might see somebody wear like on a red carpet or something, we might see a nice gown with some fringe on it and be like, oh, there's the trend. But like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I could be wrong, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe the girlies will be strutting in fringe all summer, and I'll be like, wow, I'm surprised. You know, who knows? I don't have that much fringe in my closet, so I don't really know. I don't plan to go buy a bunch of fringe stuff either. So I don't think I'll be participating. So another one of these trends that's here to stay is this whole no pants or like short skirt, short shorts vibe. And honestly, for me, I think that it's not the same, even though it's trending again. It's definitely different, because before it was like the no pants short shorts where like everybody was like, are you wearing panties? Like, and it was just like, what are we doing here? Whereas like now they're actually covering the bottom of the butt cheek, you know, and it's not like, oh, like, can your vagina breathe? It's more, you know, normal short shorts that we would see like when like we were in high school and stuff. Everybody's wearing like denim like shorts, like denim cutoffs vibes. Well, not saying that the denim cutoffs are the shorts that are trending. I'm just saying like the length, you know. So yeah, I feel like this is definitely something like, I mean, spring and summer, this kind of, honestly, it's kind of like the florals. Like every spring and summer we're gonna see mini skirts and shorts. Like we're gonna see that spring summer every single year. Like people aren't just gonna be out. Well, I digress, because some people will and are the type to wear jeans, thick jeans in the summer. And especially, it depends on where you live. Also, like I live in Atlanta, so it might be like 93 degrees one day. I'm not wearing jeans. I'm not wearing like, you know, anything thick, anything long. Probably gonna be wearing a skirt, some shorts. Maybe like if I'm wearing something long, it's definitely flowy. Maybe has a slit in it if I'm wearing like a long skirt or something, you know? That type of vibe. So I feel like it's just kind of inevitable. Like obviously we're gonna have short skirts, short shorts. Now, it obviously is still shorter than like the vibe, like the normal, like, you know, like what some people might want to wear. And they're high. A lot of times I was seeing it as high waisted, like high waisted short shorts. So yeah, and also I feel like they're trying to like elevate it a little bit. Like we're not obviously seeing like denim cutoffs on the runway, and we're not really seeing the whole like panty situation either, is or like briefs. We're seeing it more as like kind of more like that whole like sailor short thing. Like it doesn't have the buttons like going up both sides, but like that vibe where it's high waisted and it's like that kind of material. Could be like a like tweed material I've seen, could be like just like a regular like kind of maybe like a polyester blend. That I'm trying to think of like what fabrics, but yeah, different things like that that are kind of like trending here with the whole short shorts trend. I feel like there's always some element of tailoring every single season. Again, same thing like fall, winter, and spring, summer. I feel like we see some type of tailoring every single time. This time it's more like soft tailoring is like kind of what they were calling it, and definitely looser fabrics, more breathable fabrics, and like styled in a very like soft and feminine type of way. So yeah, but like I said, I feel like this is a trend that like we see every single like fall, winter, like throughout the whole year. I feel like this is trending all the time with some type of element of tailoring. At one point, it was like the super like with the shoulder pads, like super 80s like aggressive like tailoring and suiting, and now it's just, you know, a different vibe of how they're doing it. Okay, so now with the overlooked trends that I put in this category, are I only have three, and so the first one that I feel like is a little bit overlooked is this whole maximalism trend. I didn't really see it described as maximalism, but that's what I'm calling it. Some of the different sites were saying like over accessorizing or extra or like super big accessories or like over like dramatic accessories. One said like thrift, like I don't remember what it was. It said thrift, like thrifty style. It said something like that, or like craft style, which cracked me up because I was like, they really just like threw y'all under the bus. They were like, oh, you just like making crafts or something. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to like say it in a cool way, but it kind of felt like they were like, oh yeah, you just crafting stuff up. And then like another site that I saw was like saying something about personal or like adding your personal style back into your style or your fashion or your looks or whatever. And I kind of just mashed all this together and like definitely kind of with the more personal style vibe and the maximalism. What I saw is that they were saying I guess within the whole like core, like cottage core, coastal grandma core, coastal cowboy core, Barbie core, um, Gorp core. I don't even know what that means, but like stuff like that. Everybody was like jumping onto a trend, quiet luxury, trend. Like everybody was jumping onto some type of trend or some type of vibe and like putting themselves into that box. Or like even like there was like people on social media who were like, which core do you think I am, or which group do you think I fit best into, or whatever, and like trying to find out which one they were. Honestly, it reminds me, somebody was saying this and I was like, this totally resonates, that it reminds you of like when you're in high school. You remember you used to have like those like magazines, I think it was like Tiger Mist was probably one of the main ones, where like you pick like a thing at the top and it's like oh, like, do you prefer a boy who's blonde or brown haired, and you pick one and then it brings you down to something else, and then it's like, oh, what's your favorite subject in school, like science or math, and you pick one, and like until you like find out which kind of girly you are at the end. I feel like that's what like the younger girlies are trying to like do now. They just don't have the same vibe anymore. But yeah, so I feel like with that, a lot of people have lost their personal style, and that's like kind of what they were saying. A lot of people have lost their personal style by trying to fit into a narrative, fit into a box. And they were saying that the runway shows or the designers were trying to inspire people to bring their personal style back out, to put a little bit of their own flair into like maybe if there is a trend that you want to like hop onto, or you're like, this trend is like my vibe. Like for example, like how I was saying before, like there's certain trends where I'm like, oh, this is already like what I like to dress like, so of course I'm gonna be like part of it because I already like that type of vibe anyway. And then like throwing your own flair on top of it. And then I say maximalism because it was like a lot of people, or at least a lot of things on the runway were like trying of a bunch of different things and like meshing them all together with like how we were saying with the over dramatic accessories and like the whole like thrifty fashion, like adding like a bunch of different patterns and prints together, and making it more like over the top kind of look. So yeah, I feel like this is definitely one that's like pretty exciting. I have definitely been gravitating more to the maximalist style, like at least not like personally like dressing that way, but like I within the past 2 years I would say that I have gravitated to influencers that have dressed like maximalists and stuff, and kind of like trying to figure out like how can I do that in a way that doesn't feel like I'm like cosplaying, you know what I mean, and like kind of still feels like me. So yeah, I feel like I would love to experiment and like make my style a little bit more like a lot more accessories, a lot more details, kind of like throwing everything into the fit, and kind of like just ignoring that rule that's like, oh, when you leave the house take one thing off, and instead like put one thing on. And yeah, I feel like that's just a really cool trend, and I hope people do lean into that. Okay, so this trend again is one that was like kind of talked about in different, like I said, these are kind of ones that I'm like grouping together. Like they were talked about in like different ways, but I'm kind of grouping together as like one trend because I feel like yeah, just like the way they presented it. But for me, this trend of just like different shapes, cool shapes, and like asymmetry um is one that I feel like is really interesting as well. And I'm like curious to see how people do it. The bubble trend, like the bubble skirt, bubble dress, bubble whatever, um, is something that has come back. because we saw that before on runways last season, but or last spring summer, and I feel like maybe even spring summer before that. But yeah, I think that that's one that's coming back. Even like a lot of high low garments or like dresses, which I feel like that again was popping. We were in high school, everybody's doing like a high low like shirt, or like had like a top that had like that like hung down in the back, or like I wore a high low dress to prom. When I went to prom the first time as a sophomore, I wore a high low dress. Like I feel like that was popping. So yeah, even like dramatic shoulders and waist, like just different sizes and asymmetry like being played with. I'm curious if people will bring that into their wardrobe and how they will do that. So that is my last trend. Hope that you guys enjoyed this fun spring summer trends video, and like this video if you guys are enjoying my fashion content. Subscribe if you guys are enjoying my fashion content. We have a couple more fashion week videos coming out soon, so stay tuned for those. And if you like seeing my pretty face, I also do vlogs, so you guys can subscribe for that. But I hope to see you guys in the next one. And I do this every time. I finish awkwardly, and yeah, bye guys.